start sharing my like CAP interview experience first. So as far as my CAP interview experience, I would say it was a cover up of questions from each and every section. Like it was a wholesome interview covering questions from each and every section, like HR section, HR questions also, GK questions also, extempore. So everything was covered in that 20 to 25 minutes. So as soon as I entered, the first question that was shoot to me was, tell me about Savitribai Phule University. Talk about on it for like 3 or 4 minutes, because I completed my graduation from Pune University.
Exactly. That is what I was about to ask you now. Okay, perfect.
So they took that hook and they started with it. So I gathered up my thoughts and started speaking on it like for 3 minutes, but then they expected more. So they actually wanted me to speak on it for about 5 minutes. So I had to actually gather all of my thoughts, whatever I know about Savitribai Phule and then university and whatever learnings I got. I connected everything in those 5 minutes. And now as this interviewer started with a personality question, so second interviewer also connected the question to the same and asked me about 3 important personality that are in news in our country right now. So I had to like come up with 3 personalities. Why are they in news? And then he started cross questioning me about like why they are in news, what are your views on if they are taking the right steps, and things like that. And after this question, again, personality question was short on me, was international personalities who are in like news recently. So yeah, that means that I had to be thorough with my GK current news. So that was extremely covered. Then current knowledge, current GK affairs covered. Then he also asked question about farm laws, because at that time farm laws was something very much like active in news. And also he asked me the basics, what were the 3 farm laws, and what are my views on it, and what should have been done differently. And these 3 questions were covered in that. And again, then the second interviewer went back to my graduation. So he as I'm a computer engineer, so I was asked about time complexity, space complexity. Like we engineers usually run away from complexity and all. He was like deep diving into this stuff. He actually asked me 2-3 questions, actually the concepts behind it, not just the formula of complexity and all. So that means you have to like brush up on your basics, your graduation basics. And then also basic question like what is the difference between scalar and vector, 12 standard. And also in between all of these questions, they also showed me questions like I have completed my graduation in 2019. So the 1 year break, what did I do in that year? Also he also asked me like, did I join any coaching for preparing for interviews? This was also the question. So that was like a stress question for me, like should I respond to yes or no? And also the last question he asked me was why MBA. That was like that was something that I had prepared thoroughly. So interview ended on a good note. And in between also there was one question like if I'm excited or nervous about the interview. So as you also taught us about that question, like how to handle it, tell him that you are excited, then you will ask. So that happened. And yeah, that was about my CAP interview. And
hold on. So it was not not that's all about my CAP interview. How long it actually went?
20 to 25 minutes.
Because they asked you a lot many questions, man.
Yeah.
And okay, before I move ahead and comment anything, did you do a good job with your answers? Like, were you like, really good at it? Like, tak, 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 aisa ho raha tha? Do you think?
Yeah, actually, like in the start, I was actually a bit panicked because he suddenly asked me about Savitribai Phule. That was something that was not in my mind, that he will start with something like that. So I panicked. But then, I gathered up that, okay, they are going to ask me question. As soon as he asked me about other personalities, I knew that there were questions going to come up from GK section. So I panicked up, and I guess I was not able to completely answer the international personality question. But then afterwards, each and every question I was able to answer.
Okay. Now, here is a question for all the students who are here. I want you to answer in the chat box. If the panel asks you that, did you take any sort of a coaching or did anybody train you for this thing? What should be your answer for that? I want every one of you to kind of put some efforts on it. Meanwhile, we'll move it with this. Just tell me if you'll say yes, no, या फिर अगर आपको थोड़ा lengthy answer लिखना है तो भी आप लिख सकते हो, not a problem. हम इसको cross verify करेंगे on the spot because ये बहुत important है. Fine. So, do you guys believe, Shubham and Jasleen and even Pooja ma'am for that matter, कि यार ये लोग CAP में they generally are sort of close to a stress interview because ब्लैकी का इंटरव्यू थोड़ा बेटर होता है अगर हम थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंसेस के बारे में बात करेंगे, बट कैप थोड़ा सा हीटेड हो जाता है कहीं ना कहीं. मतलब it makes you feel you know what they are actually taking deep dive to a lot of things, right? Do you feel ऐसा माहौल होता है कैप का?
If I need to answer that, sir, so I would say heated, yes, heated हो जाता है कभी कभी, but they are really unpredictable, which you already told us. That cap में तुम कभी predict नहीं कर सकते कि how your interviews are going to go. They may be very heated or they may go like on a very light note. Because just on building on that point, कि my interview went very lightly. They went they went for the very basic questions like introduce yourself, why MBA, कौन सी stream choose करना है, why that particular stream. They went with those the very basic questions that we come across while preparing for the interview. So that is what I went through. But yeah, after hearing what Jasleen has to say, I can see that there is an completely opposite side to that as well, because my interview ended in around, let's say, 8 to 10 minutes. It did not stretch beyond that. But hearing to Jasleen's, yeah, I can see that it does go the other way around as well. So I think it depends upon the panelist a lot.
Perfect. Pooja, you want to share your interview?
My CAP interview is something which I wouldn't forget because I literally made a sketch of the panelist in the interview. So, and they clearly told me the other panelist was full in fun mood, and he's like, if you make good sketch, we'll take you in. If you make a bad sketch, then you lose your chances of getting it. I said, okay, give me a pen, give me a paper. I'll do whatever best I can. So I think CAP rounds, to be in general, they drill you down till a point where you get stuck. They want to see you get stuck somewhere, and how they judge is how long they can get that loop going. So if you get stuck very fast in the second or the third question, then it's a problematic situation. Then they are like, you are not well aware of what's happening, you're not serious about your interviews. But if you go about 5-6 questions, drill down to 5-6 questions, it's a good thing. So I think they purposely take you to a zone where it is out of your comfort zone and you don't know what's going on. They even ask very basic questions which make you feel like, I should know this, but I don't know this. Like immediately you get into that self-doubt zone. Yeah, ye to aana chahiye tha. So they put you in those uncomfortable situations and then judge you. So it is a lot more on behavioral side. Wherein it comes to Blackie May, they are more on VARC, what impact you gave to the organization, towards that side. But when it comes to CAP rounds, they are a lot about attitude, your behavior, and your opinions. Because jitna current affairs CAP rounds mein poochte hai, itna Blackie mein nahi poochte. So they ask a lot of opinions on every matter. And then they will ask you a cross question. Why this? Why do you think that? Why not this? So are you biased towards this political party? So you miss with one word and then it's gone.
Absolutely.
So it is very crucial to prepare very well when it comes to CAP rounds.
Okay, fair enough.